Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, so I'm gonna go over ingredients today. It's gonna be a longer video. Pretty much go over the different types of ingredients that are in pre-workouts, as well as what is the clinical dosage that you need for it to actually be effective. Because there's a lot of stuff out there that's honestly is crap. And what they do is they just put a crap load of stimulants in it to make you feel it, but it's not actually gonna help you with endurance-wise or the pump that you actually need. So I'm gonna go through all that. Because you don't want, for example, a proprietary blend because that's crap. You want actual ingredients and know how much is in that. So I'm going to go over all the ingredients, what the clinical dosages are, and then I'm also going to go over what was the pre-workout that I chose, specifically because of all the information. Now, before I go through all that, I wanted to address something specifically. People are probably like, why the hell should I even listen to this dude? This guy's got a small little following of maybe, I think I got 75 people, 75 subscribers, that's it. And why should I listen? Because the personal trainer, there's a lot of stuff out there. So, little background on me. Over the last 15 years, which is roughly, because I'm 42, about almost 75% of my entire adult life, I worked for just one company. It was a bodybuilding supplement company. That's it. I ran one of their divisions. All I did was talk about training, diet, supplements, nutrition. I talked about ingredients, how it's going to affect somebody in the gym, how it's going to affect them if they have a certain type of a disease, if they have diabetes, if the type 2 diabetes, type 3, which is the new one, which is actually, well, it's close to like Alzheimer's, but those kind of things. So I've gone through all of that. So I know a little bit more information than some of the normal personal trainers are out there, specifically on just the ingredient side of what you're actually looking for. So that is why I'm doing this video. I'm giving information and everything. I'm not going to say the name of the company that I used to work for because I don't want any bad blood between us. I left. It was mutual. Everything was fine. And the beginning of June, I decided, you know what? A lot of people push me and say, hey, you know what, try this social media thing and just give information to people they may need. Because it's just normal information that I know. So I'm like, everybody should know it, but apparently not a lot of people do. So I'm just going to give the information. I'll try to keep it under 10 minutes. It doesn't need to be a 30-minute video. It just needs to explain some of the information. So first ingredient we're going to go over is going to be beta-alanine. So beta-alanine, that is, you see that in a lot of different pre-workouts. You need a minimum of about 3.2 to 6.4 grams a day. That is the absolute minimum you need. Is about 3.2. You can go a little more, but you're gonna have to start getting some side effects. Like one of them's paresthesia, that is the tingling sensation you get if you take too much at one time. It's kind of like people that haven't experienced it. It's kind of along the lines of like when you sit on your foot too long or something and it starts coming back and you're like, you can't walk. That's what that is. So for that to work, like I said, 3.2 to 6.4 grams per day. That you need it for about a daily dose. You need to allow your body to build it up, kind of like creatine. So you have to allow your body to build it up specifically. So for example, the duration, a minimum of 4 weeks of taking that. So if you're working out and you're doing 3,200 milligrams of beta-alanine, it's going to start building up in your system. It might take a little bit longer if you're not working out every single day. So it might take up to 8 weeks, but that's why you keep doing it because you want to make sure it's fully saturated. Because the whole point of taking beta-alanine is it actually increases what's called carnosine in your carnosine levels, increases it roughly 40 to 60%. And then what happens is your body can actually store up to 80%, I believe, if I remember right. So 80%. So what happens is when you do that, it allows your body to hit the gym harder, allows you to be able to recover faster because the carnosine, the main focus of that is as you're working out, it kind of, it's kind of hard. I'm trying to make it easier to explain, but what happens is on high intensity workouts, your body breaks down glucose for energy. And because of that, it starts to lower the pH level in your muscles. And that makes it highly acidic. So that's when you start getting like the burning sensation. It's that burn when you're doing it. So if you're taking something like beta-alanine, what it's going to do is it's going to help push that off. So that burning sensation doesn't kick in until way longer, which means you're able to do way more. So if you are doing sprinting, if you're doing any high intensity stuff, if you're doing, let's say, something that's 1 or 2 reps, 3, 4, 5 max, it might not do that much for you. But if you are doing, for example, hypertrophy, if you're looking at 8, 9, 10 reps and above, that's where it kicks in. If you're sprinting, just all out, just hitting as hard as you can, that's where it helps as well. So the beta-alanine, about 3,200 milligrams minimum for it to work. So the next one we talk about is citrulline. Now, either L-Citrulline or citrulline malate. So there is a difference between the two. So L-Citrulline is mainly as a pump provider. What it does is it helps convert arginine, which converts into nitric oxide. So it helps dilate your blood vessels. So vasodilation. So which is going to give you that sweet pump, which is what you're trying to do. For performance, it's going to increase blood flow to the working muscles, delivering like you get that pump. Like I said, it reduces soreness because if you get more blood into the muscle, it actually carries more nutrients, which allows you to grow, obviously. So that's L-Citrulline. Citrulline malate is the same thing. It has citrulline, but it's bound to malic acid. And what that does, it's the same benefits as nitric oxide, but the difference is the way it gets through your pathways. I mean, the best way, if I was to say, it's like the Krebs cycle. Not a lot of people are gonna know what that means, but what it is it has to do with ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, which is your cellular energy for your muscle. So what it does is, on a performance aspect of that stuff, you do get the muscle pump, but it also helps clear out the metabolic waste. So ammonia, lactic acid, which also is the burning sensation as it starts to build up, like I said, with the other one from beta-alanine. So it's going to increase muscular endurance, ATP production, all that. The catch is, the one thing you got to double check on, it's a big thing, is how much are you supposed to take? So if you're taking just citrulline, L-Citrulline, it's about 3 to 5 grams. That's like the bare minimum you need. I would go more toward the 5 grams. If you're doing citrulline malate, you need about 6 to 8. And the reason you need a higher amount is because you're not getting as much of the citrulline. So for example, if you took 6 grams of pure citrulline, that's 6 grams of pure citrulline. You're good. However, if you took, let's say, 6 grams of citrulline malate, you're only getting 4 grams of citrulline and then 2 grams of malate. So if you want to get the same amount of citrulline that you got from just the pure citrulline, the L-Citrulline, when you're taking citrulline malate, you're going to have to take more. You're going to have to take roughly, because it's a 2-to-1 conversion, we're talking 7, 8, maybe 9 grams just to get the same amount. So in my opinion, the difference between the two is, what is your goal? Citrulline malate is more for high volume weightlifting, lots of sets, lots of reps, like CrossFit, endurance, that kind of thing. If you are just looking for the pump, which is the whole reason they put it in pre-workouts, because they put citrulline malate in, or citrulline in pre-workouts for the pump. That is the main purpose of that. Other ingredients in there will help with the endurance aspect of it, so that you don't have to focus so much. So if you look at your pre-workout, it doesn't have citrulline malate, but it has citrulline, you're good. It's going to be just as fine. So it's going to give you that pump, and it'll give you the results you're looking for. So the next one we'll talk about is nitrates. Now, nitrates, what they do is they do a lot of different things in your body. 2 specific things. People take it, that's nitric oxide, nitrates, blah, blah. It'll help you get that crazy pump and everything else. It does a little bit more than that as well. It actually gives you good pump, but it also helps with muscle contraction. So it actually allows you to be able to go harder. And the big thing is it helps with ATP production. And again, ATP is adenosine triphosphate. So what ATP is, I didn't really go into that, but what ATP is adenosine triphosphate. It's cellular energy for your muscles. So if you move your arm up and down right now, you just use up ATP. It literally is the energy that moves your muscle. It's not an energy you feel. It's the cellular energy that allows your muscle to actually move. So it actually helps with actually making more ATP. And as soon as you're done doing exercise or a movement, your body will immediately try to replenish the ATP. That's why you can't just rep it out for like 20 reps at a certain rep. You just start losing it. You start building that lactic acid. So that's what ATP is. Now, there are different ways to get nitrates. So the gold standard, which a lot of pre-workouts do, is they do either beetroot extract or beetroot juice shots. So the reason is it's been a lot of studies on it. You need roughly about 400 milligrams of dietary nitrates to get the actual results of what you're trying to do in the gym. So what happens is, as you're hitting the gym, and if you do 400 milligrams, you're good, and you're going to get the results. A lot of companies will just do beetroot juice extract or just beetroot juice shots, and they'll just put it in there. However, a lot of different companies are now starting to go with some stronger versions of it. So for example, there's some companies that are just putting straight sodium nitrate. So sodium nitrate is hardcore. It works really, really well. The thing is though, there's some safety margins on how you're supposed to do it. Like if you were to, for example, take the clinical performance of sodium nitrate is about 400 milligrams. You only need about 550 milligrams of sodium nitrate powder. However, what happens is, you start taking that, you can start getting what's called nitrate toxicity, and it starts being able to be side effects. I do not recommend going out and just getting sodium nitrate. I do not recommend that. Just don't buy it. It's not going to work. However, the companies that put this stuff in there, they also put they put vitamin C or ascorbic acid, obviously. So what happens is, when you put vitamin C in there, explicitly roughly about 500 milligrams or more, what happens is it's an antioxidant. So vitamin C blocks the formation of, I'm probably going to butcher saying this, nitrosamines in the stomach, ensuring the sodium nitrate converts cleanly into performance-enhancing nitric oxide. So you don't have to worry about, oh God, I'm going to get sick and all that. So if you're looking for, let's say it's beetroot extract, you need roughly about 4,000 milligrams of beetroot extract, about 4 grams, obviously. If it's going to be for example, the sodium nitrate, if you see on the label about 600 milligrams, because you only need about 400, 500, right? It's about, the clinical dosage is about 400 to 800 milligrams to get for the microdose and to get the perfect amount. So if you see a company have like 600, that's good to go. But then you immediately got to see, does that company have vitamin C on there of roughly minimum 500 milligrams? If they have both of those incongruent, that is the reason. Because you're like, why would the company put vitamin C in a pre-workout? That's the reason. You need it to be able to keep the nitrates down so that way your body can absorb it properly. And when you really start getting into this stuff, I mean, I could go real geeky into this stuff, but I like this stuff. So that's it for that one. Next one I'm going to talk to you about is Betaine Anhydrous. So Betaine Anhydrous is, I'm probably going to butcher how to say this, it acts as an osmolate, which is essentially, it works as a cellular hydrator. So what it does is it helps cellular fluid balance. So it actually draws water inside the muscle cells. So it protects them against stress of dehydration during intense workouts. So that's a big one, specifically because a lot of pre-workouts have caffeine in it. Caffeine obviously is the best thing out there to help you focus, do what you need to do. You just got to be careful because a lot of pre-workouts have put some stupid amount of caffeine, like, goddamn, they'll put like 400, 500 milligrams of caffeine, like just trying to give you a heart attack in a bottle, which is insane. But the problem is the side effect with caffeine is it can dehydrate you. So if you have caffeine, but then you also have Betaine Anhydrous, it's going to allow your muscle cells to still be hydrated. So you don't have to worry about the problem with being pretty much being dehydrated and having some serious problems. The second part of it is it also helps with vital compounds like with creatine and carnitine. So it actually mixes with that. What it does is it helps with, it improves power output, increases training volume, so increases more reps and sets. So, for example, if you're doing it for sports, it enhances vertical jump capacity. If you're working out, it helps push out extra reps, heavy lifts like, let's say, bench press, squat, deadlift, snatch, clean, jerk, all that. So the minimum you need on that is roughly about 2,500 milligrams. So that's about 2.5 grams. That's the main minimum. That's the clinical dosage for that. You want to actually go ahead and stack that with creatine because they actually work synergistically to enhance ATP production. So if you have L-Citrulline, nitrates, and then Betaine Anhydrous and creatine, you're pretty much got a perfect combination for max muscle flow, blood flow in the muscles, and to be able to help your body recover. Next one I'm going to go over is going to be Agmatine Sulfate. So Agmatine Sulfate is a compound that's derived from L-Arginine. So I can go really into it, but what it really does is it helps with the pump, essentially. It's also a cognitive enhancer, pain modulation supplement. So it's often referred to as like, because people take arginine, it's like the super arginine. It takes the beneficial properties of arginine and amplifies them without getting the poor absorption issues that regular arginine suffers from, because sometimes take too much and have issues. So I say my mic for some reason. So what it actually does is it actually has an enzyme that's responsible for it's enos, which is I'm going to say it wrong. I'm going to look this one up. Endothelioyl nitric oxide synthase. So that is an enzyme that's responsible for relaxing blood vessels, walls, expanding diameter, letting the blood flow. It also helps reduce inos as well, which is inducible nitric oxide synthase. It's an enzyme associated with inflammation. So by suppressing those, Agmatine helps limit unwanted systemic inflammation. But it's a nitric oxide extender. It also is a nootropic. It helps with pain threshold. So the minimum dose on that is about 500 to 1,000 milligrams. That's the main thing. Now, there are other companies that don't do that don't use Agmatine Sulfate. There's other ones. For example, there's one called EndoFlo. So EndoFlo is about 150 milligrams is a good shot you should be shooting for of that. It's a blend. It's just like Agmatine. It works. It prevents the destruction of nitric oxide. It's specifically formulated to support the inner lining of your blood vessels. So it signals the blood vessels to relax and widen, forcing blood into the muscles. It's just using a different chemical pathway to achieve essentially the same long-lasting effect of the fullness. Another one that companies use is called VasoDrive-AP. That one's intense. So VasoDrive-AP, it's a little bit different. So it's the closest one to direct equivalent to Agmatine. Well, Agmatine, I know not a lot of people are going to care about this. Well, Agmatine inhibits the arginase enzyme. VasoDrive-AP inhibits the ACE enzyme, which is, I'm going to say this right again, I'm going to have to look this one up. It's angiotensin converting enzyme. So the ACE enzyme is what naturally causes your blood vessels to constrict and to shrink. So it just straight up blocks it. So when it blocks it, it keeps your blood vessels completely dilated, ensuring your pump doesn't flatten out like mid-workout. So that is the main reason for that one. So if you're looking for Agmatine, if it does have Agmatine, then you're looking for like VasoDrive or EndoFlo in your pre-workout. So it gives the same kind of effects. My thing is I like going toward the VasoDrive, but there's other ingredients in these that usually help with that, but that's the main one on that. Okay, next one to go over is going to be taurine. So taurine is an amino acid. It's found in high concentrations in your brain, your eyes, heart, and muscles. The difference is, unlike most amino acid, it isn't used to build proteins. Instead, it acts as a cellular regulator. It's kind of like an antioxidant and a metabolic optimizer. So what all that means is it kind of works the same way with helping with endurance, fatigue. It helps regulate calcium handling inside your muscle cells. So it's kind of similar how nitrates work. Calcium triggers muscles contractions. So without calcium, you can't really trigger it. You can't contract. Benefit obviously is allows you more powerful efficiently while working out. You have less muscular fatigue during prolonged cardio, high intensity training, stuff like that. It also, main thing, a big one, is it helps reduce DOMS. DOMS is delayed onset muscle soreness. So what that is, I mean, everybody should know this, but roughly about a day or two after you're working out, your muscles are really sore. So if you work out and the next day it's sore, oh, buckle up. That shit's about to be really sore the next day. So it actually helps reduce that. It's a powerful antioxidant, it's an anti-inflammatory agent. So it helps protect muscle tissues from oxidative stress, from lifting essentially, so you're not killing yourself. Now, it also helps with cellular hydration, just like the other one I talked about before. It's I'm going to say this wrong, osmolyte. It helps draw water and essential electrolytes, like potassium and magnesium directly into your muscle cells. So that actually helps prevent cramping, supports cellular hydration. You get that fuller pump. So again, mix this all together. I think there was a study done as well on why the oldest people in the world, why they were able to live so long. And I believe it was Japan and it was Hokkaido, I believe. I believe that's what it was. But the reason they did is because of their diet. They have the highest taurine in their diet than anywhere else in the world, and that's why they've got the longest centurions there are. So it actually does a lot of different things to help you. So that one's definitely one you want in there. And you don't always have to have it in there, but if it is, it's a good one. Usually there'll be different ones in there. Clinical dosage on that is roughly minimum is about 1,000 milligrams. So that's kind of the minimum you need on it to actually be effective. But the performance dose is between 1,000 to 3,000. So which is about 1 to 3 grams. More you have, better it works. You want to take it, same thing, about 30 to 60 minutes before your workout, which is why it's in pre-workouts. Okay, so the last one I want to talk about is nootropics. So what is nootropics? Nootropics is essentially brain boosting. You take it to allow you to be able to think faster, have better cognitive ability, stuff like that. It's not like the movie Limitless where you're like, oh, and you can do everything. It's not like that. It's more along the lines, it just helps you be able to think quicker. It's great with, obviously, you're doing work, something like that. But people ask, why would you do that for a pre-workout? Well, it helps that muscle-mind connection. So the muscle-mind connection is when you're literally, let's say you're working on your bicep and you're just trying to squeeze it and you can feel it more in your shoulder. You pull your shoulder back and then you focus on just the muscle, like right there. There it is. You focus on the squeeze because when you're in bodybuilding or working out and you're trying to build something, you want to focus on the one part that you're trying to build. That's what muscle-mind connection is. If you can get that down, then you be able to really focus on certain movements. Because like, let's say you're squatting and all you do is you feel in your butt. Okay, well, you're not doing it right. Lean forward a little bit more, focus on your legs, and now you feel it in your quads more. Or change to like a split squat variation until you focus on it. That's the whole point of that. So there are a lot of different ones. The number one that's used for that is not creatine, it's caffeine. Caffeine is the number one nootropic. That's why it's in everything. But it hits you hard and it allows you to go. I mean, caffeine, honestly, humans are insane, to tell you the truth, because caffeine, we are the only thing on the planet that can take caffeine and like not die. Every other animal, like, it kills you. So it's kind of crazy. But the first thing it is caffeine. So caffeine is going to allow you to focus on what you're doing, allow you to focus on the workout. There's other ones on there. There's the alpha GPC 50%. That's a bioavailable form of choline that is really across the blood-brain barrier. So it actually helps enhance focus, mental clarity, physical muscle-mind connection. There's also L-Tyrosine, which is another amino acid. It helps with dopamine, norepinephrine, epinephrine. It helps to prevent cognitive decline, all that. There's Sabroxy, that one's actually patented. That's a plant-derived extract. It's a dopamine reuptake inhibitor. So it increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor. So it elevates motivation, sharpens focus, boosts cognitive stamina, all that. Huperzine A. Huperzine A is in a lot of different products. I found it in multiple products. But Huperzine A, it actually stops the brain from breaking down a certain part, like acetylcholine. So when it's paired, let's say with like alpha GPC, it creates a powerful synergy that keeps focus sharp and long lasting. But Huperzine A is a lot of stuff. It's a very powerful nootropic, allow you to really focus on what you're doing. And then you've got Engine Pure. I don't know if I'm saying that right. You find it in Rhodiola rosea. You see that a lot. It's a potent adaptogen. It fights central nervous system fatigue, clears up brain fog, all that. So what adaptogens are is adaptogen is essentially what it allows you to adapt whatever you're throwing at it. It just keeps going, that kind of thing. Now, the energy nootropics, which is obviously caffeine. Then there's all the derivatives of it. There's caffeine, caffeine citrate, decaffeine malate. They help block, the main focus of what caffeine does is help block adenosine receptors in the brain to instantly banish drowsiness, increase dopamine releases, trigger sharp mental alertness. But you do it too much, it could screw you up. So don't do it too much. That's where obviously you take more and more of the caffeine to get the same results. Don't do that. Eventually, go ahead and wean off it eventually. There's also natural caffeine anhydrous. There's also Taurine. Taurine it's a patented form, so it targets the same dopamine pathways as like caffeine, but it doesn't spike. It builds up energy more more smoothly. So Taurine. There's also theobromine. That's a chemical cousin to caffeine. It's naturally found in, I like saying it's cacao, which is cocoa, cacao. But it crosses the blood-brain barrier, same exact thing. And then, of course, you got your other ones, which you guys already know, Taurine, Agmatine Sulfate, and then there's NAD-H. That's a coenzyme. It's a cellular energy production. So those are so if you see those ingredients in there, those are all the muscle-mind connection ones. Those are the ones that help you focus on what you're trying to do to allow you to get the best workout possible, which is huge because if you're busy with work and you're stressed out with work, and then you go ahead and you've got to stop working out, you got to go work out, you want to take something that's going to take your mind off that shit and just focus on the workout. That's what these do. Okay, so now that I've gone through all the different ingredients on there, there's a multiple, way more, but those are kind of like the minimums on it, what you need and what's in most pre-workouts. Trying to figure out which pre-workout out there is going to actually work well for you is all depending on yourself, obviously. I mean, I'm going to give my recommendation, but it's whatever you guys need. So the main focus is whatever pre-workout you get, you want to make sure it's not a proprietary blend. Proprietary blend is bullshit. Proprietary blend is, you look at it, it gives you all the ingredients that in it, but it just says proprietary blend, meaning you have no idea how much of each is in it. Easiest way to kind of figure that out is the first ingredients that are on a proprietary blend is the one that has the most of it. That's how you figure it out. But even then, you still have no idea if it's hitting the bare minimum you need for what it needs. So if you say, oh, I got to take 2 or 3 scoops of this, I don't know if I'm hitting it. And now all of a sudden you hit some dangerous level of caffeine. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would only work with supplement companies that you know what's actually in it. Go ahead, you can use my coupon code, which is powerjerking. I shit you not, that's my actual code, and I love it. So it's powerjerking. No spaces, just straight up. I'll put the coupon code below. But that's it. If you guys got any questions about any other pre-workouts or anything like that, I'll be happy to answer. You can go ahead and you can follow my Instagram. You can follow my TikTok. TikTok, I can't figure that shit out. It's not taking off. But you can follow my Instagram, my TikTok, Facebook. And you can hit me up on Instagram, ask me any questions about diet, training. I'll give you that information completely for free. Don't care. It's what I do. As long as you follow me on Instagram, then I will answer any question you have for diet and training, and I'll do it for you guys for free because I'm like that. So that's it. That's all I got the information. If you guys got questions, put in the comments down below. Go ahead and follow, subscribe, and finger that like button appropriately. I will see you guys later. Peace.